We move on to deputations. I am absolutely delighted to see so many of our pupils in the chamber today, and there are two who are going to speak as part of the deputation. However, I'm also delighted to welcome Andrew Moore from Dalkeith High School, Eve Davis, also Dalkeith High School, Eve Snedden, Dalkeith High School, Keir Allison, Lastmead High School, Bethany Morrison, Lastmead High School, Connor Stewart, Newbattle Community High School, Ailsa Blott, Pennycook High School, Alexander Moffat, Pennycook High School, Chloe Wilson, St David's Roman Catholic High School, Collins Bernard, St David's Roman Catholic High School. So we are going to hear from Callum Gibson from Newbattle Community High School and Molly Gilmore from Lastmead High School. So who's going first? You're going to go first.
Hi. First, we'd like to give thanks for the deputation and the chance to speak our minds as young people in Midlothian. I'd like to introduce myself as previous. I'm Callum Gibson and my partner here.
My name's Molly Gilmore.
We would also like to introduce the fact that we have a representative from every school seated over there in Midlothian. We also represent every single student in Midlothian as a group. We'd also like to thank you for the security and the deal struck with the Scottish Government for the 174 full-time teacher positions secured for the next 5 years.
However, we feel that the options that are still to be explored will have catastrophic consequences on our school systems. We feel that without the extra-curricular opportunities, the youth support, the UCAS application support and the pods and nurture facilities that we have within our schools will not be able to run without the teachers that we have behind the lines that are not just classroom-based teachers. We feel that the services that they give to us is a bare minimum, something that we expect from our schools and something that we've learned to depend on as schools have changed in recent years. And by eliminating these services, we feel that there is no opportunity for change in our futures, and we feel that we can't depend on school systems that don't have these additional services to students that allow us to grow within our schools.
The first point that I'd like to make is on the transport cuts. This would lead to an extension of the catchment area for people that receive school buses to school. This would increase from 2 to 3 miles. This is often a lot of people walk in, and also the area that it is in Midlothian, especially with a lot of schools, it's a lot more of a harder walk, especially around Gorebridge and such areas. This would also mean that people are walking a lot longer distance, especially on winter nights when it's a lot colder and a lot more dangerous, especially for areas that are unlit. We would also like to talk about the situation with additional support needs transport. Many children at my school especially, I know, receive taxi transport to and from school, as this is a service that they depend on. Right now we're living in a cost of living crisis where every single person will count their pennies. Knowing this, parents of these children now have to pay either for private transport to and from school, or they have to take time out of their daily lives, either that be jobs, working or volunteering out of their lives to take their children and kids to school. I also would like to make a statement about music tuition, as this has been brought up at almost every budget cut statement made throughout the years that I've known it. I myself have had tutoring in saxophone since primary 6 from school. I attended almost all the Midlothian school concerts at the Usher Hall. These are essential services to people, that they inspire people for passions that they have. And for it to be cut only to a national grade level, which would mean people that have taken that subject now need to learn a whole new instrument within a year, which I know myself I couldn't have done. I know that people enjoy these because they're their passion, they're their dreams, they're something that is separate from a typical school education. They enjoy it because it's fun and it's something that's been taken away. It also adds to what people develop as a person. It added to my social skills, it added to my confidence, it added so much to my life that I know I would not want taken away from me. It also affects people on lower income families. People on higher incomes can easily, afford tuition privately for these, but this is an immediate effect on lower income families. If they simply can't have it, then that child is now without. And I understand that it isn't an essential in a life, but it is something that is so detrimental to someone's development, especially from people that I know personally that still do music to this day. I also would like to talk about the cuts towards the devolved school management budget, which in the previous mentioned one, it is specific to that. We know exactly what is going to be changed. However, with the cut to the devolved school budget by only 1%, that may seem small, but in terms of it, 98% of that budget is taken up by staffing. The rest of it is on supplies, repairs and similar things. Do we want to look at a school where you don't know what's going to be cut? It might be an essential service regarding mental health, support, additional needs. Certain things that don't fall under other categories but fall under this one are now going to be affected, and we're so unsure of that future. It also says in the document provided that it is an initial 1% cut. What does that mean for our future? It also means a cut in guidance as well, because certain guidance don't fall under other categories. That means that people that are in school for not in the mainstream form of education, they take additional classes or they're in separate things like nurture as such in New Battle, they are now under threat of a reduction or even an abolishment if it can't be supported.
We have a right to an education, and we feel that without the resources that the people behind the lines, people in offices, guidance staff, youth support workers, that help us build UCAS applications that are worthy of the growing expectations of universities, we feel that higher education is actually going to be limited for the future generations of pupils coming out of Midlothian schools. We feel that it is absolutely, school is a fundamental experience of life and socialisation and should be treated as such. It is not just a classroom experience. We learn life skills that will prepare us for university, and also other students that aren't built to sit in exam halls and aren't built for core stereotypical subjects at school. Without the options for these pupils, without the advanced higher courses, the extra qualifications, the extracurricular clubs provided by additional devolved school staff, we won't be able to grow applications, we won't be able to grow aspirations for the future, and the future generations coming out of Midlothian schools will generally be stunted in their growth. We feel that these changes will cement a gap between classes of students, that those without an advantaged privatised education will not have the extra resources, will not have the extra bullet points on their applications that will get them out of Midlothian or into universities they're looking to, or into jobs that they're looking to. Really, students aren't going to know the opportunities that are available to them without the staff accessible towards them, and we feel that whether it's by cutting transport, cutting libraries that build community lines between schools, you're going to be just basically cutting that sense of community in schools that allows pupils to feel motivated towards their futures. We generally also are concerned about the priority of the Council. We feel that you are targeting a cost of living crisis, but your solutions for this actually target low-income families that are already not coping in a cost of living crisis. For example, prioritising a refurbishment of a ski centre over schools and this 1% of devolved staff members is critically, it won't compensate for the loss of schools. We've found that there's an estimated 1 million profit coming from the ski centre per year, with 31 million being invested into it initially. We feel that this money should be placed elsewhere, and that your service to us should be through schools that are unanimous to each young person that grows up and goes through Midlothian.
Another point to be made is about the growing capacity of schools in Midlothian. The population of Midlothian is set to grow by 20% just in 2025. This means that schools that are already over capacity, such as Last Wade, are already having cuts put onto them before the population is even grown. And while other new school buildings and upgraded school buildings are in planning, what does that mean for the ones that are currently in place? We are okay with new ones, but the old ones just crumble. This also affects these poor lower income families, because in regards to privatisation of education, when looking at tutors, that is much more accessible to people on higher income, but that just simply isn't accessible to families that need the money that they currently have. Overall, our reminder to the Council is their value of people. As stated on an email sent previous, in Midlothian, we are able to lead healthier, safer, greener and successful lives by 2030. And we also encourage this, and we believe in that, but these cuts simply don't do it for the young people of Midlothian. We believe that we should be working towards young people, not away from young people.
We believe that a consistently budgeted education would mean that our future generations are underprepared and underdeveloped for a cost of living crisis we all have to face, which we should remain united and optimistic when working towards. We really do not want to feel as if we are the last generation of pupils prioritised by their council for budgeting. And we generally just hope that our future generations that succeed us will have the same privileged experience that we're really grateful to have had, and we probably wouldn't be speaking with you without.
We recognise your legal obligation to balance Midlothian's budget. However, we, the young people of Midlothian, believe that these cuts will have a catastrophic consequence on everyone's lives currently. While we may be leaving school, we know what it holds for the future for others, and we are worried. We would also like to end our statement with a quote from Malcolm X. Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. So please, prepare us for the future for us and for Midlothian.